We are only 2 days away from curtain up at Broadway's biggest night of the year. The Tony Awards are taking place on Sunday, and this year's ceremony comes as the Broadway box office closed out its most profitable year on record. It topped nearly $2 billion for the 2024-2025 season. In a lot of cases, visitors to the Great White Way shelled out hundreds of dollars per ticket to see a show. I mean, honestly, even thousands, right? CNBC reporter and producer Brandon Gomez is here to break down the record-setting numbers. Brandon, I'll preface this by saying I will do my best, Joe. You know, totally I don't have a lot of the firsthand knowledge of seeing some of these shows, but it is fascinating what has happened with Broadway this year, and the awards are so exciting. For me, for kind of a novice, what shows brought people back this year? Just give me like a headline, especially because this was a real turnaround since COVID.
It was, right? And during COVID, we saw the box office pull back, and so this year was the real return of Broadway. And I will say, too, I'm a musical theater major in undergrad outside of my journalistic duties. Like, I am also the big Broadway buff. But this year, it was Hollywood. Hollywood was the big word, right? So you had all of these stars coming to Broadway. George Clooney in Good Night and Good Luck. You had Glengarry Glen Ross starring Kieran Culkin. And then you also had Othello starring Denzel Washington and Jake Gyllenhaal, right? So people were shelling out big bucks to see these Hollywood stars. And a lot of it helped boost the box office, right? Those were the top 3 revenue-generating shows this season.
I mean, people were really spending... I mean, hundreds at least, right, for like the 3 that you just said?
Yeah, for those shows, I mean, tickets were around $500, $600, sometimes even more during the highest of the season, which was around the holidays. December 29th, that week was the highest grossing week for Broadway. But the average ticket price was actually around $129. Okay. Now, that's up from $124 back in 2018, 2019 season. If you account for inflation, you're still kind of getting a deal. It should cost around $155 based on the numbers. But if you're someone like me who's willing to go and stand and wait for a cheap ticket, you can see a show for 45, 50, 60 bucks. People are always amazed at the deals I can somehow find in the city.
I know, and there's like ways to game it with the auction, the
totally. So if you're visiting the city, that's the way to do it.
Totally. I think the Hollywood piece of this, as somebody who doesn't go to Broadway very much, it's just fascinating to think about the fact that like right in front of you, you can see George Clooney or Denzel Washington acting live. I mean, that really did have a huge impact, right?
An arm's length away, right? And it really did. And so there was this great debate, too, amongst all the Broadway folks. Do we need these Hollywood stars to really help boost box office sales? But when you look at some of the nominations for this year, you'll see some of those names. George Clooney's nominated for Best Actor in a Play. But really, it did go to a lot of the musicals, the theater shows that, you know, the theater lover will go to.
Okay, let's talk about Tony Awards, what's nominated here. Best Musical, Best Play. I have seen one of the Best Musical ones here, Death Becomes Her. I absolutely adored.
It's hysterical.
I was laughing I think I was crying. I was laughing so hard. It was so good.
And the way that they do some of those stunts, the staircase scene that Meryl Streep is so well known for, right? And Goldie Hawn and Bruce Willis, all the ways that those actors bring those characters to life is amazing. You also have in the category Buena Vista Social Club and Maybe Happy Ending, along with Death Becomes Her, are the most nominated shows for 10 Tonys, still trailing Hamilton's record of 16 Tonys in one season. We also have Dead Outlaw, Operation Mincemeat in that category. And then in plays, John Proctor is the villain based on The Crucible. This is a very popular show. I will say in that category as well, Oh Mary, Cola Scola, who stars and created the show, is a favorite for that category as well. I saw it off-Broadway. I haven't seen it since it transferred, but it's absolutely hysterical, the story of Mary Todd Lincoln Scott. So.
Let's talk now also about favorites here for actors.
Yeah, so in terms of the actors categories, again, it's you talk to Tony voters, and it's really split this year. I mean, it's between Audra McDonald in Gypsy or Nicole Scherzinger from the Pussycat Dolls, who's currently starring in Sunset Boulevard, both in revivals. Those are the 2 sort of favorite darlings there. In terms of actor in a musical, also Tom Francis from Sunset Boulevard. But then it could be Darren Criss, right, of Glee fame. He's currently on Broadway right now in Maybe Happy Endings. I mean, the list goes on, and I can keep going into it, but that's a different day and a different show.
A different anchor. Brandon, thank you so much. It's fascinating. It's very exciting that Tony Awards are this Sunday. Thank you. Appreciate it.